Hello! This is awkward. Welcome to a brave new world. How's it going, everyone? We are live. This is February the 25th, 2024. How are you guys doing? Happy post-Valentine's Day to all, aka Thursday. So, yeah, today is definitely very awkward, as I was kind of anticipating a Nintendo Direct was supposed to happen today, and it turns out it might have been, but long story short, it was delayed due to the other news that was supposed to happen today, which it is, because we kind of got confirmation that, yes, the Xbox news is indeed real. And I do apologize if I look like I just got out of bed, because I just got out of bed. I had a very long nap after I had a very big lunch, so I do apologize if I look a little bit like a mess, but I am kind of curious to see what Xbox is doing, as I'm not exactly an Xbox, what's the right word? An Xbox boy? Yeah, I'm not exactly an Xbox boy, all things considered. I mean, like, I used to be in the past. I grew up with the 360. Maybe because everyone at my school had a 360, so I kind of had no choice. That, and there were some games that were exclusive to the game systems that weren't the lead, so I basically picked up the 360 as my game choice until a little bit later when I got the PS3, and I slowly shifted to that. Yeah, I guess I was kind of foreshadowing that Xbox is not doing so well, because spoilers, Xbox is not doing so well. Between Redfall and Starfield, Starfield did good, but then it's been super bugged by all the Bethesda creative engine stuff. Criterion, you know what I mean. The engine problems with Starfield makes it so that it's kind of really hard to fix that game. So Xbox is unfortunately in the bind. I kind of talked about how PlayStation is in the bind as well, but it's definitely clear to see that yes, Xbox is suffering a lot less. So I kind of figured, hey, the video's only 22 minutes, well, technically 23, as we can see on the time, and let's just see what they got planned. There are definitely some rumblings about what's going to happen soon, and if those things were true, I'm kind of excited for one game, but I'm kind of curious to see what everything else is, what they're going to talk about. So I guess we'll just see what the future of Xbox is now. So I do apologize if this is all just me just watching the video and doing a reaction, and I'm not exactly full of energy. Again, I just got up, so let's just see. Hopefully the audio balancing is good. Chat, aka Petrus, please let me know if that's the case, and let's watch.
Hello and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Tina Amini, and we have a very special episode today, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm joined by Phil, Sarah, and Matt. Welcome. And we're going to talk about some updates at Xbox. We want to talk about game exclusivity. We want to talk about Activision Blizzard, now that they're part of our portfolio, how that might be an impact on Game Pass. And we want to talk about hardware, too, and how all of this fits into the strategy at Xbox. So where should we start, Phil?
Well,
I guess I might as well
when
keep
we originally had planned for the show, starting back in December, I think we probably would have started with Activision Blizzard. Maybe talked a little bit about the exclusivity.
Is that now?
Some
all right, then. I mean, I'll keep on subtitles just in case people have a hard time reading it.
Unforeseen news that has come out. So let's just go and tackle the exclusivity question, because I know it's on the minds of a lot of people. We hear from the community, and that's an important input for us. So we made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles, just 4 games, not a change to our kind of fundamental exclusive strategy. It is, we're making these decisions for some specific reasons.
I guess that makes sense.
We make every decision really with the long-term health of Xbox.
You're kind of on time. I just started.
And long-term health of Xbox means a growing platform, our games performing, building the best platform
What
for
was the announcement
creators,
now? I mean, right now, it's
reaching
only
as
4
many
games
players
going
as
to
we
other
can.
consoles.
We're always looking
A
to
little less than I
learn as a
thought, but
leadership team,
that's actually
and to grow. And we think
impressive.
this is an
That's
interesting
definitely an
point in
impressive
time
amount
for
of
us
number. I'm
to
just kind of curious to see what those
use what
4
some of the
are.
other
I definitely know what
platforms
one
have
of them is
right
going to be.
now, to help grow our franchises. So we're going to do that.
So these 4 titles, what are they? Can you say?
I'm not going to name those games. The teams that are building those games have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their announcements with the partners. So I don't want to take anything away from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Well,
So
what
not
was the
Starfield,
criteria
okay.
and how the team was thinking about selecting those 4 titles?
Let me start a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now. Because the fundamental decision driver for any decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox. That we're running a growing
Well, I mean, to be fair,
platform
people
that
can
is
actually go to
reaching
the
more
end and
players,
just see
that our
spoilers of
games are
everything.
having
But
as much
yeah,
success
no
as
spoilers,
possible.
no spoilers,
And
please.
I do have a
Even
fundamental
though that some of this
belief
stuff
that
has
over the next
definitely been
5 or
leaked.
10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. And that's not some great insight, because if you look at the last 10 years and what the biggest games are today, it's a natural place. Whether it's one console and PC, multiple consoles, mobile console and PC, you see big games landing on multiple platforms.
Well, like I
And
said
we
before,
wanna be
we kind of have a good
great
idea what a few of those
platform
games
for
are, but
creators that are trying
let's just
to
keep it as
realize
supplies
that
to everyone
potential.
else.
But now back to the specifics of the question on these four specific titles. We looked at games that are over a year old, so they've been on Xbox and PC for a while. A couple of the games are community-driven games, new games that kind of first iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth. Franchises that we obviously want to continue to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have communities behind them, that they can have confidence that they're going to exist in the future. So 2 of them, kind of community-driven games that will end up on other platforms and give us the ability to continue to invest in them. We think that's great for the business and great for the communities, more players to play with. I'd say 2 of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that. But games that our teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors
I hope
across
one of them
our
is Killer
studios,
Instinct.
regardless of size.
Killer Instinct on Switch would be
And
amazing.
as they've realized their full potential on Xbox and PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value out of those games, allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio. And when we don't damage
let's
Xbox,
be real. If
and we can
Halo
grow our
goes
business
into
using
other
what other
system, that
platforms
would
have to help us with that,
would
we're gonna do
definitely
that. And
break
that's
the
really
bank
the
on
story
someone.
behind
That's for sure.
these 4 games. And last thing I'll say, looking
No,
forward,
not that. I mean,
you know, I
it
think
will
there
be.
there is
That's
an
my word.
interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players
Like, it will be a major
other
hit.
platforms to get them more interested in Xbox.
These new
We
Banjo,
think there's
that
a
would be
good
nice.
brand
More
value
Banjo will
for
definitely be
Xbox
nice.
there. So 4 games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not. And we're going to learn.
So when you are thinking about the future and this concept of live service games, games that can benefit from bigger audiences, new audiences, how does that apply to future titles and how you're applying that criteria there?
Yeah, there's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. We just came out of Developer Direct, which was an awesome show where we showed great
I
games that are
completely
coming to
forgot they had a
Xbox and
director's
PC and cloud, which really makes
Developer
them
Direct
accessible
show,
to hundreds of millions of people.
which is the one,
So
which
it's
is the
just kind of-
which is the
we're
show
really focused
when
on
they
a
shadow
couple
drop
platforms,
Hi-Fi
and it's gonna
Rush
show
at the
up
beginning of
there.
2023.
But our
Unfortunately,
key
there doesn't seem
of
to be
play the
any
you
games
want,
that
with
I
the
like
people you
in
want, anywhere you
particular.
want, when anybody plays, when everybody plays,
From
we all
that
win.
this year.
These have been part of our strategy for years and will continue to be. Our focus is on how do we continue to grow the games industry by reaching more players in more places, and how do we grow Xbox as part of that. Xbox as a hardware platform, Xbox as a publisher of great games, and Xbox as a platform for the world's best creators.
And then knowing that, how do we think about our first-party games and Game Pass?
Yeah, well, to build on what Phil just said, one thing I would add, as you were talking about growth, is just that we've sort of seen this inversion over the last 5 years, where it used to be that the platform was the biggest thing.
That's right.
And
I do
the
like Phil
games would
Simpson
sort of
back
tuck
booty.
in
I mean, like,
within the
yeah,
platform.
sure.
Today,
The issue
big
is
games like
with
a
these two
Roblox
is that
or
they're
Fortnite could actually be bigger than any one
the
platform.
Xbox, and like I said before, it's not exactly
that really
doing
has
so. But I
changed
don't
the way
know.
that we
I
think
kind of
about
do
things.
like
So in the midst of all that,
seeing these
I
two
think
talk.
we at First Party can come back to sort of some core principles. First, that all of our games will be on the Xbox platform. Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day one. And third, we know that Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So there's sort of starting points for us. As Phil mentioned, there are games
Game Pass
today
is
that you
gonna
can
be
play that
Xbox
only can be
exclusive.
found on Xbox. And at the same time,
I mean, I guess
we
that makes
want
sense.
to bring more of our games to
That's
more
definitely
players.
one
So
of
we're
the
gonna
biggest
continue
benefits to
look at that.
Xbox in general is the
Kind
Game
of
Pass.
moving aside, though, from some of those and thinking more about what does it really mean for the player, to me, the two key things are cross-play and cross-save. Those things allow us to deliver on the promise of Xbox, which is play with your friends where they are, play on the devices you want.
I guess I get
play the
something
games
with
you
this
want.
with
So
that pass.
that
I mean,
is really
it's a
only
great
possible
deal.
at a practical level when you know that your saves and your player are going to be able to move across all those parts. So not all of our games today are necessarily built to take advantage of that. There still will be some games that don't. As we bring more teams into the
Not all the
Xbox
games will
family,
be
there's
on
some
Game Pass.
catch up to do as we
Even though
get there. But
that's definitely kind of the
cross-play,
mantra of
cross-save
Game Pass on
is, like,
Xbox.
so
Most of
fundamental to
Xbox
what we're
games are
doing, and
usually
I think
day
it's
one on Game Pass.
something that we as First Party get such a good benefit from being so close to the platform.
Yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
they
And that's
can
one of the things,
do
like
that
you
now,
said,
unfortunately.
all of our games are always in Game Pass. And so I'm excited to announce, with the coming together that we had with Activision Blizzard King, that Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 on March 28th, which I'm super, super excited to share today. And it's all part of our commitment to make the Xbox experience and the games that we build is widely
people still
available
care about
as
Diablo 4
possible.
now?
So now
I mean,
the
like,
34 million Game Pass members can all enjoy
They own it
the
now, so
fantastic
I'm guessing
experience
they
of Diablo
changed it
4.
so that it's
Amazing.
not
Can we
super
come back to the
scummy.
point,
But
Phil, you mentioned
oh
at the
well,
top of
at
this,
least we
isn't
got
really
some
a
announcement.
change in strategy for us. Can you recap for me how it isn't?
Yeah, and I thought both Matt and Sarah did a really nice job of talking about what we're doing on Xbox, where we're going. If you take a platform feature like Xbox Play Anywhere, which has been a promise that we've made on our first-party games, that you can buy our game once, you're going to get play across Xbox and Windows. I think we're the only platform that does this. That makes it
surprisingly hot
possible
today.
for you not only to play with your
Yep.
friends wherever they are, but to know that you actually have multiple entitlements to the games. I think that's a technology I would love to see applied to more platforms. But it is this view that people are going to play Xbox in multiple places. Whether it's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, whether it's content, community, and cloud, whether it's when everybody plays, we all win. Like, we've had different taglines,
they
different
playing Street Fighter-
strategy, kind of
Was that Street Fighter 6
words
that they're
that we've
playing?
used, but always
Oh,
with
good. I
this
can play
view
I can play
that
Street Fighter
Xbox
6
is
on
a
an iPhone.
platform for creators who want to reach the most players. Our investments in xCloud, our
Diablo 4
investments
is
in
actually pretty
franchises like
solid
Minecraft and now Call of
after
Duty
some of the
and
other
other large
disasters like
franchises,
Overwatch
so that
2
we learn
and Warcraft
how to
2
build
Forge.
those.
Yes, it's
This
just
has
that
been a
I still
strategy that
heard
we've been
things
on for,
about
I'd say, a
Diablo
decade.
4, so it's
It's
not
not about
perfect.
one device. It's not about games in service of a device, but rather the devices that people want to play on should be in service of making the games as big and popular as they possibly could be. Because really, a healthy creator community on Xbox, a healthy creator community in gaming all up, is the thing that all of us as game players should be voting for, because that's the thing that will lead to the best long-term success and growth in this industry.
And my understanding, just from listening and learning from you three over the past few weeks, just understanding what's happening with Xbox, is that we see trends with player behavior where people are playing on multiple devices. That is the reality. And we have put some games out on multiple platforms before. So
But the
my
amount of
understanding is
Steam
that that's
Decks and
been
Steam
good for
Deck
players.
likes
How does that
being
come back to the
released.
business with all of that in mind?
That is kind of true.
Yeah, as you said, we have shipped games on other platforms. In fact,
No good as one or two,
realistically,
though.
if you look with the
Exactly.
addition of Activision and Blizzard and ZeniMax, We're one of the largest game publishers on PlayStation. We're one of the largest publishers on the Nintendo Switch, especially when you put Minecraft into the equation as well. And now
because
we're one of the
Minecraft
largest
takes up
publishers,
most of it.
on
Well,
mobile platforms
I mean,
as
like I'm
well.
pretty sure that's
And that's
the other
not
Sony
something
games,
that
the
we
Oi
want to back
games.
away
and
from. We want to
what
continue to be
other
building
Xbox
great
game,
games that millions
Microsoft
and
game is
millions of
on
people can
Switch
love,
as well.
and that they can play those
Oh
games
yeah, Cuphead as
where
well.
they
That's
want
right.
to go play. But we do understand the business success that Xbox has to have. Us as leaders in this business, the system today, the system that all companies that we play video games from, is a world of you got to be growing your business. Growth in our Xbox business is critical to the long-term health of Xbox. Many people know I've been on Xbox for over 20 years, and I want to make sure Xbox is in the best position for the next 20 years. That means healthy player community, healthy creator community, and healthy business. So when we look at opportunities to allow more people to play, more people to engage, more people to buy, more people to subscribe, it's all about putting Xbox in the best position. And our hardware is a critical component of that. The absolute best experience somebody has on Xbox is hardware that your team builds and that people play on. But that's not going to be everybody. We fully accepted that we're going to have Xbox players across all kinds of devices.
So I think a lot of people think about 2023 as this incredible year for gaming, and in a lot of ways it was. There was some really amazing releases that I think we all
But it's still
enjoyed.
committed to
But what were the
hardware,
signals
but
behind the
admit
scenes
that
that
not
maybe
everyone's going
indicated
to
how we
be
wanted
on
to
the
look
Xbox
at the future of
hardware?
Xbox and how we kind of keep up with the industry?
Okay.
Yeah, such a good question. And I think it's, as people who care about the industry, which I assume is people who are watching this, it was an amazing year. Some great launches, some of the games that I think will
Well,
stand
not
the test
really.
of time
I'm
and
just
people
here
will
for
be
the
talking about
news.
a decade from now. But it's an industry that didn't really grow. And what happens when an industry doesn't grow? You end up with some job eliminations, which we had. We had even our own hard decisions to
Oh
make
yeah, that's
about
right.
building a
Xbox cut a
sustainable
bunch of
business for
jobs at the
ourselves,
beginning of the
but
year.
in no way were we alone in that. When you think about a
Not
healthy
everyone's
industry,
perfect.
I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love.
Well, hey, at least they
I want
admit
people
it.
who invest their
Still scummy,
careers
but
in
they
working
still admit
here
it.
to feel like this is a place that they can be successful. And that really is down to being part of an industry that is growing. If you listen to Lisa Su, the AMD CEO, she'll say that AMD-powered consoles are likely to decline in 2024. I think there's an amazing set of games coming in 2024, but if we don't get to growing as an industry, the industry will struggle. And today there's really two choices on how do you grow the industry. Do you say, I have a fixed number of players, the players that we have today, and do I
He's
find
still
new
honest,
ways
like
to monetize those
EA.
players to get more money
I
from the
guess, but
players
it's still
that I
kind of
have?
scummy.
Or do you think about how do I expand the
Like
business
you have all
by
you
finding
bought
new
a
players
company and you still have a
adding
lot of
those
money
to the
and yet
base
you
of
cut
players
those
that
off.
already play?
I mean,
Our focus on
like,
Xbox
according to
for the
people,
last decade
when
has
they
really been
say
on
that, it's
latter
most likely
point
due to the
of
fact
how
that
do we make sure Xbox is
the
growing,
Activision
growing
Blizzard
for
games
our
are coming
players,
to
growing for our creators.
Game Pass,
so those people are
and
finding
that costs
success
like a ton
on
of
our
money to
platform,
put
which will grow
those
the
in,
Xbox
so they had to cut
business
jobs just to
and
do
put
that.
Xbox
Which
in a position to be very strong.
yeah,
for
someone
years
definitely
and
had the
decades to come.
foresight to tell us that
Matt,
because
earlier
they
you were
actually
talking
predicted
about
that
these growing
months
gaming
before
communities,
people
how
were
they're
cut off.
incredibly
So,
large, and you know, comparable on such a different level when we think about console audiences. Like you mentioned Roblox, you mentioned Fortnite. So how are we're obviously thinking about our responsibility, our hardware responsibility is supporting the growth of gaming communities. How has that actually shown up for the players? Are there other games we can speak to from our portfolio?
Well, as Phil mentioned, I mean, two of the biggest ones for us, Call of Duty and Minecraft, I mean, they are driven just from the bottom up by the communities of people that play those games, which is so great. I think about it for the player
CEO's
community,
always like,
it
never
comes
look
down
for us.
to
Yep.
where are
Rest
the
in
friends,
peace,
where are the people
Iwata.
you play with, and then equally important is where have you built up your library of games, right? Where have you invested? Where's that library? I think those two things probably are some of the biggest influences on where people choose to play and what devices they choose to play.
Yeah.
When we think about on the other
Jokes
side,
on
the
you,
developer
Booty.
side,
I'm not a Call of
just
Duty
any
player.
game
I only play
developer
Modern
wants
Warfare
their
2,
game
the
to find
first
the
Modern
biggest
Warfare
audience
2, and that's
possible.
it.
It's just the
And I
nature
tried
of
Minecraft.
building a game.
Oh,
You
did
want
I
people
try
to enjoy
Minecraft?
and
Not my
participate in
game.
what you've made. And I think we're in a unique position to deliver on that just because we are the platform. We build hardware. We've got a first-party games group, and then we've got a system that ties that together, that brings together your friends, your progression, your achievements, all of that. And I think that's really what has contributed to the momentum behind some of these communities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at, just step back and you look at the history of the industry, we've move from a place
play
where
Call
it
of Duty
used
when
to
it was in
be
War
that
II.
someone built and launched
Makes
a
sense.
game to accelerate hardware.
Coming from
to
you,
actually
that makes
the things
sense.
we do with our hardware and with our platform are all in service of making those games bigger. And we think about that across all of the investments we make, the consoles we build, the investments we do with things like crossplay, cross progression, the things that we're doing with cloud. How do we actually give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? I think one of the fun recent examples about this is actually Pal World. You know, Pal World was able to launch, they were a game preview, they launched in Game Pass. They
Oh
also
yeah, that's right. This is
simultaneously
technically
launched in Steam.
Xbox's
So the
most
combination of those
successful
things,
game.
You know, Pocket Pair was able
Pal
to have this
World.
outsized success, and it was the largest third-party Game Pass launch ever. And that's all because we give creators options on how they can launch their games. We've got subscription, we've got retail, we've got free-to-play, we've got game preview. We
So
have the
Xbox
consoles, we
is not
have our
doing
experience on
terribly,
PC,
just
and they can
somewhat
access
not great.
all of those things. And when
Who
we
knew
step
all you need to
back
do
and
is
we
give
just look
Pikachu
at
a
the
gun and
performance of
boom,
our
you sell
platform all up,
gangbusters.
we know it's working. We're at the highest level of users on console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of users on cloud ever. We have double-digit growth rate on PC and cloud, places where we're enabling creators to actually reach new players beyond the console ecosystem. And that's why we're leaning
Yeah, how
into
long
it and doing
since
more.
Pal
because
World's
we
been
see
out?
all
I
those
feel
signals.
like it's been forever.
So we're talking about
It's
the
been
role
out
that
forever,
hardware
but
plays for creators,
now
for
it
the
feels like
games
it's
and
only
those
been a month
communities.
since
What
it's been
about
out.
the role that hardware plays for us as a business, for Xbox?
When we look at our hardware, it really is, and Phil said this earlier, it's where you get like the most flagship seminal experience of Xbox. And it also represents a developer target. Our developers can build the specs of our hardware, and we invest to make sure they know when they do that, that the games are going to run great on our hardware, but they're also going to be able to be accessed across any screen because of all the other investments we make. So we're giving them an easy way to access as many players as possible. And we actually have more creators right now building for Xbox than ever before by nature, thousands of them by nature of those investments. And we got more to come.
That's a
There's
good
some
point,
exciting
because it
stuff
definitely
coming
feels
out in
like
hardware
that, thanks to
we're going
Pal
to share this
World,
holiday.
Xbox Game Pass
also
might actually
invested
be
in the next
pretty
generation
in a pretty
roadmap.
good position.
And what
now.
we're
Like, it
really
actually
focused on
sold,
there is
sold
delivering
a
the
bunch of
largest
Game Passes
technical
to
leap
people.
you will have
So,
ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it
yeah,
better
I mean,
for
like,
players
go
and
figure.
better for creators
Star
and the
World
visions that
wasn't
they're
the
building.
game that
And then when we're talking about
would
hardware
win a
too,
bunch
there's these
of
other
people.
considerations
It
that are
was
really
Pal
important to our
World.
community,
Pal
probably
World.
to each one of ourselves as well.
I find that
When
hilarious.
we talk about library, because I want to dig in on that a little bit more. You know, as we talk about cloud in the wider entertainment industry, there's conversations about streaming. How is that impacting how I own my content that I've invested in? So what can we say about our stance around game preservation?
Yeah, you know, one of the highlights for me of being in this position was getting to stand on stage when we announced the back compat coming to Xbox One. Like, it was fantastic. People were reading the teleprompter before I could read it.
that was a good announcement.
And just feeling the energy in the
People
in the,
are just
in
hungry
the
for edgy
auditorium as
Pokemon.
we were saying that.
Fair
And
enough.
online. You know, one of the cues I think us as being part of Microsoft take is looking at Windows and how Windows over decades has maintained software compatibility with things that are built on it. Like, I can still go back and play some of the games that I love playing on Windows from decades ago.
Okay, yeah, give credit
and it will
to
still
credit
run. And we
was
try
due
to bring
for
that
Xbox.
same
They definitely
view
do game
to consoles.
preservation
It's harder in console
really well.
because the line between what the hardware is and what the game is in consoles is traditionally
Compared to Nintendo, where they
it's
basically shut
tighter,
down all
which
servers and all the
makes
games that were
compatibility-
exclusive
you
to
end up
those,
doing these generational
consoles.
compatibilities that we've built. But I will say,
Xbox is definitely
compatibility,
committed,
the
hey,
ability to not only
here's some
play
old
the
games,
but
they
my
play
saves are
better
still
on your
there
new
with our
system
cloud
now.
save
Have fun.
systems
Yeah.
to try to keep the services up as long as we can so that
Why do
people
you
can
think
play.
I play
is a
Ocarina
tenet
of Time
what we are
on
as
my
Xbox. It's
PC
our
at 60 frames per
foundation. And when we
second?
look at future hardware generations and what we're going to support, making sure that we respect, which is the word I use, respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward is fundamental. And the fact that you get entitlements when you buy a game from us on both Windows and Xbox also means you have the ability to play that game across a multitude of devices, which I think furthers the compatibility of the games that you own.
Can we go back to what Xbox stands for today? I think we've pretty much covered all of the elements, but if you could break it down for me.
You know, when you play on Xbox, what we're saying is you're playing on a platform where you know the biggest games in the world are always going to be. You're playing on a platform where you get to access Game Pass. And all of the games from our incredible range of studios will always launch in Game Pass day one. And you're playing on a platform that's dedicated to you, like player-first features, cross-play, cross-save, cross-progression, backwards compatibility, being able to play your games in your library anywhere you want because of the investments that we make in cloud gaming. And so you're playing somewhere where you're investing and you know you get to take the games forward with you and across all of the screens where you are. And I think most importantly, Xbox is a place where you know when you're investing in Xbox, you're investing somewhere that is dedicated to making games more successful and creators more successful so that they can invest more to bring even better experiences to you all of the time.
Yeah, just that investment in the studios is so, and we feel that as part of first party with the platform proximity. You know, it's kind of amazing now to look out across all the studios we've got and just be reminded that we're now one of the biggest development organizations.
I was trying to bet at the end of this they're going to
What
announce
does that
that they
mean for
acquired a new
players?
studio.
It means that the biggest
I'm pretty
games are
sure
gonna
that
continue
Activision
to
Blizzard
come to
is the
Xbox.
last one. That's basically
this
the king of the
2024,
crop.
the year coming up, we've got more than 10 major releases coming up. Great stuff. Hellblade 2. We've got Diablo expansion. We've got Avowed, Ara, the Indiana Jones game, and there's more in development, which I think we're going to be able to share more about.
All right,
at our
then, it's
June
confirmed.
showcase coming up
Xbox
pretty soon.
has more
Well, I guess I should
first-party
get ready
games
to
than
work on my
PlayStation 5.
schedule. Well, thank you all for showing up on the podcast today, and we'll see the rest of you this June.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tina.
thank you.
I didn't hate it. Yeah, I surprisingly didn't hate that. I mean, So, what's the big takeaway that we got from this? The biggest one is that, yes, some Xbox games are going multi-platform. Keyword being some. There's only 4 of them. And we kind of have a good idea of what those things are. It's just that they actually decide so that they're going to wait on those announcements, which, technically speaking, to be fair, I've definitely heard rumblings that the Nintendo Direct was supposed to be this week, but it was literally aligned with this. And I kind of figured that they wanted to get this out of the way first before any of those games are announced. So chances are it's probably going to be like next week, we're going to have a new Nintendo Direct. New Nintendo Direct. It's still going to be like a mini part of showcase, but yes, you better believe I'm putting on my tin hat because I just want a Nintendo Direct. That's all I want. But yeah, I kind of like how professionally that this was, all things considered. Like it definitely kept my interest throughout, even though I'm not actually an Xbox person. We got news on Game Pass. Diablo 4 is getting some love. Or they just put the trailers like the Peach trailer. I mean, I guess, like, I kind of gave it up on this point, all things considered. It's just that it was definitely a good watch. It wasn't an amazing watch. Was I completely blown away? No. But it definitely seems like that, yes, Xbox is still doing hardware, but they definitely acknowledge that, well, you could actually play a bunch of our games on other systems. Not all the other systems, mainly like PlayStation and Switch. It's like, kind of, because they said 4 games. It's just that they still want to do, make hardware so that you could actually get the best experience on said hardware. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how much forward they'll go. Like, if I had to guess, everyone's just going to copy the Nintendo Switch model, where, yes, we're going to, our next handheld, our next system is definitely going to be a Switch-like. So, similar to Steam Deck and whatnot. But yeah, and Starfield and Indiana Jones is not one of those 4 games, which I guess it makes sense, because, after all, they need some exclusivity. Not all the exclusivity, just some. So, okay stuff, nicer than, buccaneering themselves. Yeah, like, it was good. I like it. Honestly, that's kind of all I got. I literally don't have anything else to say. It was basically a good little announcement, all things considered. It's just that now all we need to do is just wait and see. Oh, good, more waiting and seeing, just like I've been doing for most of February right now. fun. So yeah, I do apologize for the sudden stream and not actually doing an actual stream today. Long story short, I kind of said this before, but I was kind of wanted to take a little break from streaming today, mainly because I just want to. I just beaten Final Fantasy IX after a long playthrough, and we're definitely in a good position in terms of replaying Final Fantasy VII Remake on hard mode. As I could definitely like finish up that in the next week so that we can be fully prepared for Rebirth stuff 2 weeks later. It's just that I kind of might as well watch this because I was anticipating Nintendo Direct, and I guess Microsoft and Nintendo must have talked to each other, and they're like, okay, we'll hold off on the Direct just a little bit, just so you could get all this news out of the way, so that we could showcase some of your games on our system. And it definitely is confirmed, so I might as well say it. Hi-Fi Rush might actually come to the Switch, and I will be a very happy person. Necron Pokyo, yes. Yes, that thing did. So, yeah. Tomorrow, I'll be back to my usual streaming schedule. Actually, a little bit earlier, because I usually stream slightly earlier when Petrus isn't streaming, so slightly early streaming stuff. So, yeah. Now just on connections tomorrow, because I still need to make the most of the PlayStation Plus that I bought, so... yeah, there's definitely a weird stream. I do apologize for today, but tomorrow will be right back to normal. But I do appreciate you guys sticking by. I haven't made too many announcements that I'm going to be streaming right now, but nice of you guys to show up, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you so much. See you later.